Top of the second inning after some technical difficulties. State leads 2-0 here in the top of the second as Maddox Miller takes the 0-1 pitch and a fly out for out number one. State leads 2-0 over Jackson State thanks to a couple of flyouts.
Yeah, really pretty breaking ball thrown there from Miller. Started way up high, curves back down right over to the middle of the plate for strike number one. Right there, outside fastball for ball one. Evens up the count 1-1. Yeah, the bottom of the first. First two batters were walked, being Aiden Teal and Bryce Chance. Ace Reese as well walked. Then Noah Sullivan with a pop out to score the first run. Reed Stallman a fly out into center for the second run. Now State leads 2-0. As Miller will check over to first base, over to Reed Stallman. Back in time.
So runner at first base, chopper over to third baseline. That rolls foul. So 1 ball and 2 strikes here with 1 out in the top of the second.
Yeah, 1-2 count. You're up in the count. Again, just keep rolling this fastball. They haven't really been able to touch it outside of that one hit. I believe that was off of a breaking ball regardless. So just keep going with that fastball. Make a guy like Hendrick have to put bat on ball here.
Miller comes set. The 1-2 is off speed outside for ball 2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. A runner sitting at first base.
Yeah, that changeup has just been off. He has not thrown it well at all. It's been outside every single time.
2-2 pitch on the edge, but not enough. So a full count coming up to Hedrick Torres, the starting catcher for Jackson State.
Yeah, and right there, that's one that's right on that line. That could go either way. Doesn't go in our favor. Count pushes full.
Pickoff attempt over at first base. Trying to keep Hudson Jr. close to the bag. 3-2-1 on the board. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Miller trying to stay on track. Stay on track for the Bulldogs. Payoff pitch is a fastball inside. Gets the strikeout looking.
Yeah, and I don't even know if I agree with that call. That pitch looked a little high inside. Did not look like it was a strike. Obviously, we'll take it. And Jackson State, as well as Hedrick, seemed a little stunned by that call.
Yeah, fastball right at the top of the zone on the inside half. Gets the called strike 3 on the payoff pitch. And if you're Maddox Miller, that is definitely the pitch that or the call that you want to see just to get things back on track, because it could have gone either one way. It could have been a walk, and you have runners at first and second with only 1 out. But now you have a strikeout, and you boost your confidence, and you have a runner still sitting at first base. So the first pitch to Wilbert Perez, the first baseman, is outside for ball 1. As we sit here with 2 outs in the top of the second, State leads 2-0. Miller comes set, the 1-0. Off speed in the lower half of the zone, gets called strike, evens up the count 1-1.
Yeah, really good pitch there. Wilbert Perez batting .333 on the season. Seems to be a pretty good bat. Being careful.
1-1 pitch, inside corner, catches the zone for strike 2. So 1-2 count coming up to Wilbert Perez. Top of the second, State leads 2-0. Dogs trying to close the gap to head to the batting lineup.
Yeah, that was such a pretty pitch there. Fastball, had a little bit of movement at him. Perez flinched a lot. Ball able to fall into that strike zone.
1-2 pitches in the dirt, but a great save from Maluski. It's the kind of steps that you like to see from your catcher who's trying to develop into that role.
Yeah, exactly right. That's exactly what we want to see from like our catchers, especially Maluski, who Maluski debatably has the best bat. Being able to stop that, dig that out, great play.
2-2 pitch, a swing and a miss for strike 3. They'll tag the batter, and that'll do it for the top of the second inning. State leads 2-0 over Jackson State. Due up to the plate will be 8-9-1 when we come back. You're listening to Mississippi State Baseball on the Bulldog Student Sports Network.
Bottom of the second here. Mississippi State leads 2-0 over Jackson State. Jacob Parker up to bat. We have seen his home run hitting power, especially on those high fastballs. Jacob Parker batting .300 on the season, the freshman out of Purvis, Mississippi. As pitch number 1 was tipped right back into the catcher's glove for strike 1. And now the second pitch, low and away, ball number 1, evens up the count 1-1. Pitch number 3 is low and inside for ball number 2. Jacob Parker ahead of the count now, 2-1. Jacob Parker is one of these young guys we'd love to see continue to grow. We know he's extremely talented with the bat in his hand. As the fourth pitch is swung on, just foul, over down first base line, ripped off the bat for Jacob Parker.
Now 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jacob Parker. 2-2 is ripped down the right field line. That bounces off of the screen, so count remains the same, 2-2.
Yeah, that's back-to-back ripped balls down first base line. First one was closer to being fair. Second one hits the netting on the right side.
2-2 pitches, ground ball right up the middle, gets past the starting pitcher Joe Williams and splits the middle infielders for the first base hit of the game. Jacob Parker, a very exciting freshman entering into this Mississippi State lineup.
Yeah, and that's just great batting there from Jacob Parker. Kind of just placed that one right down the middle. Not a full swing, but able to get enough velo off the bat to get that ball through the middle. Get us going early here with him on first base.
So Kevin Maluski, the starting catcher tonight, steps up to the plate. He's sitting at a 167 batting average, only 12 at-bats due to some struggling back injuries to start the season, but you would like to see him make some progress here in the midweek.
Yeah, and I think Maluski's going to be the guy that can be the starting catcher, from here on out. I think he has the best bat out of all the catchers. We've seen the home run hitting power, only has one on the season, but that one that he hit was an absolute nuke. And so defensively, I think he gives us the best chance of being that starting catcher. So I'd love to see Maluski continue to grow with the bat in his hand.
Yeah, we've seen a variety of catchers in the game with Kevin Maluski and Sean James. We've seen Jackson Owens a few times. There's been lots of faces, but like you said, Charlie, I think Kevin Maluski definitely has the potential to grow into that role.
And Andrew Raymond got the start on Friday against Arkansas, and he looked pretty good, but I don't think he gives us enough power off the bat that Milewski can give us. And so I think this is Milewski's position to lose here as long as he continues doing what he's doing and growing that bat. I mean, average is low, but not a ton of at bats to be able to really put a lot of decision making into his batting average.
No, exactly. And like you said, I think Kevin Milewski definitely gives you another type of bat with his home run hitting ability. As the 1-1 pitch is lifted left field at the wall, but foul. And Charlie, that was nearly a ground roll double. I don't know if that would that have been a home run, Charlie? I can't really tell.
Yeah, it looked like it was close. I mean, I guess it's hard to tell when it goes off into the bullpen. Nonetheless, that ball was smoked and just foul. Milewski thought he had one there. But nonetheless, we were just talking about the home run hitting power that he brings to the team, and he cranks one down left field line, nearly gone.
Definitely had the distance. So now Parker sits at first base, no outs. Bottom of the second, the 1-2 is in the dirt for ball 2. Williams off speed outside, so 2 balls and 2 strikes. No outs as Williams in the stretch leans in.
Yeah, that was great discipline from Milewski there, not to swing on that one. Really good breaking ball thrown there from Williams.
Now the 2-2 pitch, runner going, ground ball, rolls left side, gets just past the third baseman, and Parker will hold up at second base. So Kevin Milewski improves his batting average with another base hit on the season. That gets past the third baseman for an infield base hit. Rolls into left field. So bottom of the second, 2 no outs. State leads 2-0. And this is exactly what you want for the Bulldogs batting order. Now with runners on first and second and no outs, top of the order, Bulldogs could do some damage.
Yeah, they're actually calling that Milewski hit an error, so his average is actually going to go down to 154 after the third baseman wasn't able to glove it. I don't know. That one had some heat and was bouncing. I'm not sure if that should have been an error.
Yeah, definitely could make an argument for that call, but very hard hit ball towards the left side. So now 2 balls on Teal, 2 balls and no strikes with no outs. Parker at second, Milewski at first. To a pitch is a grounder right side, but that'll be foul. Bounces off of the Tigers dugout. Aiden Teal leading off for Mississippi State. That's been another conversation for the Bulldogs lineup, is who is going to take the top spot for Mississippi State. We've seen multiple guys like James Nunnally and Teal. As that 2-0 pitch is 2-1 pitch is in the dirt for ball 3.
Yeah, and I know we see Bryce Chance in that 2 spot, but I think he makes a great argument to be that leadoff guy. I mean, you want your leadoff guy to be someone who can get on base pretty much every time he's up to bat, and Bryce Chance has done that all season long, and so I don't think he doesn't bring the home run power that a lot of these guys can bring, but he's a guy that will get on base almost every single time.
That 3-1 pitch is a chopper right side, splits the first and second baseman. Rounding third base is Parker, as he'll get the call to home. He'll tap home plate. So with a single from the leadoff hitter, Aiden Teal, that advances the runners. Now first and second with no outs and another run on the board for the Bulldogs. State leads 3-0 over the Tigers.
Yeah, great there. You see the shift, a little bit of a shift put on there from Jackson State. No one was really over in that second base spot. A lot of that due to the man on second. And so Aiden Teal takes what they give him, hits honestly a pretty slow chopper right through second base, but no one's there to get it. And we extend the lead now to 3-0.
Yeah, perfectly placed ground ball for Teal. Gets the RBI for Mississippi State as the first pitch to Bryce Chance gets past the catcher, so that'll advance runners from first and second now to second and third. So with no outs, Bryce Chance has a beautiful opportunity to add to his RBI total, now 11 ribbies on the season. Bryce Chance, the senior from Ridgeland, Mississippi, now sits with a 1-0 count. Bottom of the second, State leads 3-0 as that slider is outside for ball 2. Joe Williams unable to find any rhythm with his breaking ball. So now count 2-0. Off speed catches the outer half for strike 1, so 2-1 count coming up to Chance.
Yeah, that was a great pitch from Williams, and we said it earlier, when Bryce Chance is ahead in a count, it's almost a guaranteed walk every single time unless you can make some really good pitches. And right here, another great pitch from Williams that Bryce Chance swings on and fouls out to even up the count 2-2.
So Bryce Chance enters this at-bat sitting at a .436 batting average, but the story doesn't close there. .533 with runners in scoring position. 2-2 pitch is in the dirt for ball 3, so a full count coming up to the senior Bryce Chance.
It's just the plate discipline. I've never seen a guy that is so good at seeing the ball come out of the hand of the pitcher always. I mean, it's like he never swings at balls that aren't in the strike zone.
Payoff pitch to Chance. A ground ball rolls left side. Glove by the third baseman. Throws it across the diamond for out number 1. And a missed opportunity there for Bryce Chance. But now we have Ace Reese up to the plate. And if you're Ryan O'Connor in Mississippi State, having this guy up to the plate with only 1 out, it just opens up the opportunities that he can bring to the table with a very professional batter, like you said, in his last at-bat, Charlie.
Yeah, and he has the full playbook open here. He can swing freely if you're Ace Reese. He has the ability here to obviously hit 1 out, get 3 runs. He can kind of place it wherever he wants. The outfield's shifted a little to the right, it looks like. Left field looks pretty open over there.
Yeah, and after that 1-0 pitch is inside, looks like we might be making a call to the bullpen for the Tigers. And that'll be exactly that. The day will end for the starting pitcher for Jackson State, Joe Williams, as we'll see a new pitcher in the lineup as he goes an inning and a third, gives up a couple of hits in 3 earned runs. His book is not closed completely, as we now have runners at first and second with no outs. We'll be back in just a few minutes after this pitching change with Ace Reese up to the plate with only 1 out. Bottom of the second inning, Ace Reese back up to the plate after a pitching change. It will be Manuel Toro, wearing number 35, the right-handed pitcher for the Tigers. Now a 2-0 count coming up to Ace Reese with one out. Runners at second and third base. Reese batting .567 with runners in scoring position. Takes the fastball upstairs at the chest for ball 3. So 3-0 count. Now to Reese.
I always feel bad for pitchers that have to take over in positions like this. You got guys on second and third and one of the best bats in baseball, and you inherit a 2-0 count. And so Toro here, can't expect him to do much with this.
3-0 pitch is a breaking ball. Gets a big hack from Ace Reese for strike one. So 3 balls and 1 strike, 1 out. Aiden Teal at first base, Kevin Malewski at third. The 3-1 as a line drive into the visitors' bullpen. So a full count coming up to Ace Reese.
Yeah, and you're seeing it a lot here. A lot of guys just swinging really early on pitches and yanking them foul. Going up against Arkansas this weekend, you saw a lot of guys topping out at 94, 95, and now you're going down to 86, 87. It's a big change.
Payoff pitch is fouled off again, and Ace Reese will have to walk that one off as that's fouled off of his shin, it looked like. He'll take a few steps, walk that one off.
Yeah, that has to hurt.
Oh, definitely.
He'll have time to walk it off.
Yeah, that's one of those plays that you just got to walk it off and tough it out, and not what you want to see. But that's definitely a baseball type of play. State only 2 hits this afternoon. Ace Reese sitting at .370. His numbers have gone down slightly. Still a very competitive batter for Mississippi State. 6 home runs on the season, 31 RBIs. He's got an opportunity to extend that total now with a full count. Payoff pitch to Reese is upstairs and outside for ball 4. So that walk for Reese now makes back-to-back walks. And Noah Sullivan, the designated hitter this afternoon, will now step up to the plate with bases loaded and 1 out.
Yeah, Noah Sullivan's seen back-to-back bases loaded when he's been up to bat. Wanted to mention this, though. Ace Reese still looks like he's limping a little bit. He limped his way over to first base. Still trying to shake that off after the hit his shin. But like I said, Noah Sullivan inheriting two loaded bases and back-to-back at-bats. Fly out in the last one to bring in a guy. Let's see if he can put one in play here and bring in a couple.
Wind starting to pick up ever so slightly out towards right field. Now the 1-0 count to Noah Sullivan. As a fastball inside catches the zone for strike 1. Evens it up at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, that's a good pitch. High inside fastball inside that strike zone. And like I was saying, that's an 87-mile-per-hour fastball. They were seeing 95 this past weekend, and so almost a 10-mile-per-hour difference in speed.
1-1 pitch is another pop-up towards shallow center field. Trying to find it. And drops it is the center fielder Winfield. That'll advance the runners and score a run. So the Bulldogs add another thanks to an error, the second error of the day for the Tigers. And that's just a routine pop-up, but it looked like maybe the sun or the wind might have affected that for Winfield.
Yeah, it never looked like he really had an eye on that ball. He at first really didn't move much from decently deep center field, then started running, then shades over to our right, and then kind of just lost it. Put his glove up, it hits it right in the glove, but wasn't able to pull it down.
Yeah, so after that play, the training staff for Mississippi State will head out to second base to check on their star player Ace Reese, who appears to still be shaken up after the foul ball that after he fouled off the pitch that landed on his shin or his leg.
Yeah, and you could see it after he got the walk. Most guys will jog over to first, and he took his sweet time with the walk. Then he looked over to his coach at first base, and looks like he said something, and now they're going to pull him out of the game. We're going to have a pinch runner come in here. Yeah, that's hopefully this is just a simple bruise, a little stinger, and he'll be all right. And I think it's Drew Wires coming out.
Drew Wires.
And I'm sure he'll take over at third base, or they'll move some things around and stick him somewhere else. But we've seen him play second. We've seen him play in the outfield. So Drew Wires, and he's a very capable bat too. We've seen that in the past as well.
Yeah, so that is simply the luxury that Brian O'Connor has, that when you lose your best guy, that's obviously not what you want to see. But to have the ability to have somebody up next, it's a next man up mentality for this entire team. And now the next man up is Reed Stallman at the lineup, takes first pitch upstairs and outside at 86 for ball one.
Yeah, and I want to go back to that play by Noah Sullivan, the pop out. It's just like we were saying earlier, it's just kind of confusing as to how he didn't make that play. Very, very routine, not much to it, and we'll take it all day.
So the 1-0 pitch is a ground ball, splits the legs of the first baseman. That'll score 2 runs, and rounding over to second base, sliding into second, will be out at second. So Reed Stallman, a double down the right field line. He gets the call to make it towards second base. He is tagged out at second, but that RBI potential double or RBI single rather, for Stallman, able to drive in some runs, but tagged out at second base. So Garrick Fry, the lefty, will step up to the plate. Now State leads 6-0 in the bottom of the second.
Yeah, and I feel that's a little silly from Reed to run on that one. It's a hard hit ball in the right field, but I mean, that's not something you typically run on, and he decides to. I guess he thought maybe they would throw it home, but threw it right at second in an easy play. He was out by a mile. But nonetheless, Garrick Fry a chance to bring in Noah Sullivan here and extend this lead with 2 outs.
Well, not something that you see every day. A ground ball splits directly between the legs of the first baseman as the 1-0 pitch is sent into center field. Ranging back is Winfield. He hauls it in for out number 3. That'll do it for the bottom of the second. State adds 4 runs on 3 hits thanks to a couple of errors. They leave 1 runner on base at third. That'll do it for the second inning as we head to the top of the third. It's Maddox Miller, or rather, I think a new pitcher coming up on the mound for Mississippi State. We'll have more when we come back for more MSU baseball. New pitcher on the mound for the Bulldogs. Parker Rhodes gets the call after Maddox Miller's day ends after pitching 2 innings. Brian O'Connor trying to see some new faces. Miller goes 2 innings pitch, gives up a hit and a walk. Finishes with 3 strikeouts after facing 7 batters through those 2 innings. So Parker Rhodes gets the call from the bullpen as the 1-0 pitch to Parker Winfield is a swing and a miss for strike 1. So a 1-1 count coming up to the senior out of Florence, South Carolina.
Yeah, looks like 89 miles per hour is going to be the fastball for Rhodes.
1-1 pitch is a slider low and outside for ball 2.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he has, extremely high velo like some of the other guys we have, but looks like he's going to rely heavily on that breaking ball.
2-1 pitch is another breaking ball as that's fouled off right side. That'll trickle into the Tigers' dugout. Count evens up at 2-2 and no outs.
Yeah, that breaking ball has nasty spin. I can see why he relies on it so heavily, as that has a massive swinging motion, and it's a pretty thing to watch.
1-2 pitch is another breaking ball as that's fouled straight back. Count remains the same, 1-2. State leads 6-0 over Jackson State here in the top of the 3rd inning. Bulldogs looking to see a couple of new faces in the pitching staff. 1-2, swing and a miss for strike 3. Parker Rhodes starts off the day with a strikeout on his first batter.
Yeah, and I stand corrected. That one was 95 fastball. He must have been throwing a cutter or something there, as he went with the fastball, and that thing topped out at 95. So Parker Rhodes, I stand corrected.
Yeah, we see a lot of fastballs from a lot of these pitchers on the staff. It might be fastball, like we see with Ryan McPherson. Then he'll hit you with a breaking pitch. But right now it seems that Parker Rhodes will hit you with the different pitches in his arsenal. As that pitch is a grounder over to second, gloved by Fry, tosses it over to first for out number 2. So a strikeout and a ground out to second. Parker Rhodes already off to a hot start as he takes over for relief.
Yeah, and that's not an easy play for Garrick Fry to make. It went off initially off the glove of Rhodes. I thought he was going to be able to handle it, and it bounces off the glove, kind of changes direction a little bit, but Garrick's still able to get to it and then make a throw on the run over to Reed Stallman at first. So great play there from Garrick Fry.
First pitch from Rhodes catches the outer half for strike 1 on Robert Tate Jr. Back to the top of the order. Tate Jr. struck out in his first at-bat. A grounder over to third. Gloved and tossed over to first for out number 3. So a strikeout and back-to-back groundouts. Parker Rhodes uses his defense to get out of the top of the 3rd. That'll do it as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. State leads 6-0 over Jackson State.
Back here, Duty Noble Field here in Starkville, Mississippi. Mississippi State leads 6-0 over Jackson State here, top of the third inning. And it has been a pitching and batting clinic here for the Bulldogs. Bottom of the third, as Ryder Woodson is up to bat. Ryder Woodson flew out to center in his last at bat. Ryder batting .284 on the season. First pitch swung on. One hopped over into the Mississippi State dugout. Had some extreme velo off the bat there. A little early, and everyone's been very early on their swings today, obviously, and I've mentioned it a few times, but going from a top 5 team in Arkansas over now to Jackson State, where you got guys topping out at 85, it's a big difference. Is their second pitch, breaking ball, huge curve on that one, swings right into the strike zone for strike number 2. Ryder down 0-2 now. Here's the wind, the step, the throw, low away, breaking ball, 1-2 count now to Ryder Woodson. Jacob Parker on deck here, bottom of the third inning. State leads 6-0. Here's the pitch from Toro. Breaking ball, low and in the dirt to even out the count 2-2. Great discipline there from Ryder Woodson to get back into the count here even now. Again, now a fastball at 87. High. And ball number 3 now. Full count for Ryder Woodson. After going down 0-2, able to get it back to a full count. Ryder Woodson had great plate discipline all season long. Like I said, has been a really good addition to the team. And here it is on a full count. Check swing. First base umpire says he went off the high fastball. It was a ball, but it doesn't matter off the check swing. Out number 1 here for Jackson State as Jacob Parker steps up to the plate. Jacob Parker in his last at bat hit one right up the middle, right past the pitcher, past second base into the outfield for a single. Jacob Parker batting .323 on the season. And, man, he's been so good all season long. As first pitch is a high fastball, 87 mile per hour for ball 1. We've said it, man. Jacob Parker loves these pitches higher in the zone. And I think guys are starting to pick up on that, as you haven't seen very many high pitches as of recent. As there are 2 straight pitches low in the dirt. Jacob Parker ahead of the count now, 2-0. Maluski on deck here for the Bulldogs. That pitch is over the middle for strike 1, a fastball at 86. Jacob still ahead of the count, 2-1.
Yeah, good pitch from Toro right there. Catches the outer half, trying to work on this really tough freshman.
Right there now, a pitch low and away. Another fastball. 3-1 count here for Jacob Parker. Expecting to swing on something here.
Yeah, and that's what you want to see, a really good at-bat and showing some maturity at such a young age.
And off that pitch, swung on and roped down first base line, just barely foul, as now count pushes to full.
I mean, that was very close, Charlie. I mean, that could have gone either way, honestly. A really close call there on the right field line.
So now 3-2 count, 1 out. Bottom of the third, State leads 6-0. Toro with the pitch. Swung on and roped into right field. Bounces off the wall. What a hit from Jacob Parker. He's going to get a stand-up double. Right fielder just seems to have lost it. I thought that he was going to be able to make that play, but wasn't able to locate the ball, and Jacob Parker will have himself a stand-up double.
Oh, my goodness. Jacob Parker, I mean, that was maybe 3 feet from being over the wall and just being a straight-up line drive home run into right field, but that gets just over the right fielder's head, bounces directly off the wall, and right fielder's just unable to make a play. Tyree Reed has a very difficult action to make after that. It just deflects off the wall, but great play from the freshman. Jacob Parker's now sitting at second.
Exactly right. Kevin Maluski now up to bat. First pitch, 1 hops into the catcher's glove for ball number 1. And you're right. I mean, that ball from Jacob Parker was close to being a line drive home run, very close to going over that wall. The exit velo had to have been pretty crazy off that bat of Jacob Parker.
No doubt. And we saw that a couple of weeks back in the midweek with Jacob Parker. He really has that home run hitting power.
Right there, second pitch swung on and roped foul. Kevin Milewski, we saw him do that in his first at bat. That one a little more over into the stands, and so now evens the count 1-1 for Kevin Milewski.
Yeah, Kevin Milewski reached off of an error in his last at bat as that got past the third baseman on the hard hit ground ball.
This pitch swung on and popped out over into center field. Should be a routine play, as he will make the play. Jacob Parker's going to tag up at third, and it's a stand-up reach on base for Jacob Parker. The throw gets past the third baseman, but not able to advance, and so Kevin Milewski does his job in a sense, advances the runner to third. 2 outs now for Jackson State. As Aiden Teal comes up the bat, he's 1 for 1 on the day. Was walked in his first at bat, and then had a single in his second at bat, and a chance here to bring another run with a hit.
Yeah, well, Kevin Milewski might be 0 for 2 on the day, but right now he's 2 for 2 on getting the job done. I mean, he gets the ground ball past the third baseman off of the air, which is arguably could have made a case for a base hit, and then right there able to advance to the runner, and now Jacob Parker now 90 feet away from potentially getting another run.
That's exactly right. And a guy like Aiden Teal, who's so great off that leadoff spot, and we know is really good at getting balls in play, and so obviously a good decision there from Milewski. Advance the runner, now give Aiden Teal a chance to bring him in. As first pitch was outside for ball 1. Second pitch high and outside for ball 2. So now Aiden Teal ahead of the count 2-0.
And Aiden Teal is almost like another Bryce Chance in a way. He's not going to hurry and rush to find the right pitch. He's going to sit back and sit through the at-bat.
Exactly right. Now ahead of the count 3-0 after that pitch was low and in the dirt. And so Aiden Teal ahead of the count 3-0, and he is, like I said, Bryce Chance has his on-base percentage in the upper 500s, and Aiden Teal has his basically right at 500 at 492, and so back-to-back guys that get on base very often. As pitch number 4 is way high, catcher has to stand up to make the play, so that'll be a walk for Aiden Teal, a 4-pitch walk at that. And now you get Bryce Chance up. We know what he can do. We've talked about it pretty much every time we call a Mississippi State baseball game, and he comes up with a chance to bring in a run.
No doubt. And that was just, we say baseball is a game of inches. That was inches away from getting past Torres, the starting catcher for Jackson State, and that could have definitely been an easy walk-in run for Jacob Parker at third base, but a good snag from the catcher for Jackson State.
Exactly right, and Aiden Teal will steal right off the bat, leaves first base, reaches second, didn't even need to slide. Catcher just kept it in his hands, didn't even try and make a play over there, so stolen base for Aiden Teal. Now you got 2 guys in scoring position, and you have Bryce Chance with a chance to bring them both in.
No doubt. That's a perfect coaching call right there. You eliminate the double play ball.
That ball is roped down left field line. Foul. Had to jump out of the way. Was the third base coach as Bryce Chance down in the count 0-2. You don't see this often. Bryce Chance behind in the count. Let's see if he can work his way back into it. Toro winds and deals. Bryce will hit a basic one over to third, but it's bobbled and dropped. That'll be another error for the third baseman as Bryce will reach first base on an error. Jacob Parker will score. And so now State leads 7-0 with 2 outs in the bottom of the third.
And this may look like an outstanding hitting performance for Mississippi State whenever it's all said and done, now that State has 7 runs here in the bottom of the third inning. But they've had a lot of help in doing so. A lot of maybe hard-hit ground balls that are routine plays that maybe a lot of these infielders should be making. But, a lot of these pitchers are doing a decent job but hasn't had much help from their infield.
Yeah, and that play right there, that's a chopper hit. Obviously, it's bouncing a little bit, but that's a play you've got to make almost every single time if you're Patty over there at third base. And so, but obviously, as a State fan, we'll take it all day long as Bryce Chance there at first, Aiden Teal over at second, Drew Wires up to bat, replacing the injured Ace Reese, who left in the bottom of the second after a foul ball came back and hit him, looked like in the shin, but maybe leg area. So Drew Wires comes in batting .394 on the season. He batted leadoff a couple series ago, so we know he has great power and a really good bat for us. As now, counter goes 1-2 to Drew Wires. 2 outs, bottom of the third, 7-0 State leads.
Yeah, Drew Wires, he gets the call up after Ace Reese catches the foul tip off of the pitch back in the second inning, and you'd like to see him take advantage of his time now.
Exactly right. 1-2 count for Drew Wires. Toro with the pitch. Swung on. It's a blooper into shallow center. Great play from the shortstop to be able to get back there and make the play. Thought that was going to drop, but Tate Jr. shows off the speed there, makes the play, and that'll do it for the bottom of the third. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, 2 left on base. State leads 7-0. Top of the fourth. Coming right back at you at the BSSN. Back here, State leads 7-0, top of the fourth. Parker Rhodes still on the mound for Mississippi State as Tyree Reed is up to bat. First pitch is a cutter that right over the heart of the plate for strike one. Tyree Reed only has 1 at bat on the season, and it is today against State. He's 1 for 1 on the season and today, as second pitch is outside for ball number 1 to even out the count 1-1. The pitch of Rhodes is swung on and hit over in left field. And guess who? Bryce Chance makes an exceptional play over there in left field. Sliding to the ground. Looked like he was sliding into second, but makes a great play. And man, we can't talk enough about how great Bryce Chance has been all season long. Not just with the bat in his hand, but defensively as well. He's played center, he's played right, he's played left. Today at left field, and that's just another one of those reasons why Bryce Chance has been one of the best players on our team all season long. So 1 out now for Parker Rhodes. First pitch is that cutter again, swung on and missed for strike 1. Pierre Cabral batting .319 on the season. Down on the count 0-1. Second pitch, a big old breaking ball. It catches the outer edge of the strike zone for strike number 2. Parker Rhodes ahead of the count now, 0-2 with 1 out, top of the fourth, with State leading 7-0. Third pitch is swung on and hit towards second base. Grabbed by Ryder Woodson. Thrown over to Reed Stallman. The play is made. 2 quick outs now for Parker Rhodes in this State defense. And this is exactly what you want to see from someone coming in, replacing Maddox Miller. And Parker Rhodes has done such a good job of keeping everything either on the ground in the infield or routine plays for outfielders to make outside of that one incredible play that Bryce Chance just made for the first out of the inning. As now you have Edwin Lemus Hudson Jr., the DH, up to bat. This is his first at-bat of the season for Jackson State. As Parker Rhodes winds, deals, pitches, swung on and missed. The fastball blew right by Hudson Jr. And Parker Rhodes ahead of the count 0-1 here. Parker Rhodes has great command over the fastball, the cutter, and the breaking ball right now. Kind of just doing whatever he wants and taking advantage of every batter. That's the second pitch. Breaking ball low in the dirt, gets past Maluski. No harm, no foul with no one on base. But like me and John Wesley have been saying for a while now, these are things that's got to be cleaned up at the catcher position. We expect them to make these plays because come SEC play, those plays where the balls are getting past you are going to come back to bite you. Got to start making those plays. The third pitch is just inside for ball number 2. 2-1 count now to Hudson Jr. Parker Rhodes looking to even up the count here. Down 2-1, the wind, the deal, the stretch, the pitch. Swung on and missed. The cutter, 88 miles per hour. Hudson Jr. way early on that swing, sitting at that 95 fastball, but got the cutter instead at 88. Parker Rhodes evens the count 2-2.
Yeah, and Parker Rhodes is cooking right now with this cutter. It's working perfectly.
Goes that cutter again in the dirt. Full count now, 3-2 count, 2 outs, top of the fourth. State leads 7-0. Expect the cutter again here. He's been throwing it basically the entire time outside of a few fastballs. Here's the pitch, and it's the cutter again, but this time it's going to hit Hudson Jr. Didn't have the typical movement that it's been having as it kind of just was left out. Hit him right in the shoulder, and with 2 outs, you'll have a walk here for Jackson State as Edwin Jr. reaches.
Yeah, not what you want to see. You would like to see him shut it down, maybe throw in a fastball on the payoff pitch and you make the batter hit it and see what happens. But nonetheless, a runner at first with 2 outs.
So Peyton Boyne's up to bat, and he ropes one into right center field. Bryce Chance makes the play, robs the home run. And man, is Bryce Chance incredible or what?
Oh my goodness! And that's why he's in the outfield. That's why he's one of the best outfielders in the SEC. And I'm not afraid to say that. This dude is a veteran baseball player, and he will go up and make those plays. We've seen him at center field. Now we see him making plays out in left field.
Yeah, and that's just back-to-back incredible plays for Bryce Chance out in the outfield. He had that sliding catch off the liner into left field, and then he robs the home run. That would have been a 2-run shot as Boynes ripped one into left center field, but Bryce Chance robs the home run. State lead, bottom of the fourth coming next here at BSSN.
Bottom of the fourth inning, State leads 7-0 over Jackson State. Noah Sullivan, the designated hitter for the Bulldogs this afternoon, now steps up to the plate. First pitch to him is a breaking ball that clips the elbow, so a hit by pitch. And Charlie, I don't know what happened, but the starting catcher is wincing in pain right now.
Looks like it bounced off the shoulder of Noah Sullivan and then hit him in the head as he was taking off his helmet. Taking off the mask, probably ready to, I don't know what he was doing by taking off his mask, because obviously it hit Noah Sullivan, but looks like his mask was off and it hit him in the face as he is wincing in pain. He looks like he is in a lot of discomfort right now. Prayers, and hopefully it's nothing serious. They are over in the dugout getting another catcher ready to go here.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate circumstances. I guess with that, we're going to take an injury timeout, and we'll be back in just a few minutes for an update here in the bottom of the fourth inning. State leads 7-0 over Jackson State. Back now, bottom of the fourth inning after an injury timeout. Charlie, pretty interesting circumstance. We get a hit by pitch after a hanging curveball clips the elbow of Noah Sullivan, the right-handed hitter, and kind of walk us through what happened after the catcher got hit.
Yeah, it looks like it hit Sullivan in the shoulder/elbow area, bounced off of him, and as that's happening, it seems like Torres took off the mask, I guess thinking maybe it was foul tipped or something. The ball ends up hitting him in the face. But Torres, tough guy, stays on the field, stays in that catcher's position. So glad it's nothing serious. Glad he's able to stay in the game. And now Reed Stallman up to bat.
In a pickoff attempt over at first base, and nearly picked off as Noah Sullivan, a great throw. It looked like he made an extra secondary step and almost slipped up, making a slide back to first base. So Reed Stallman up to the plate, the starting first baseman tonight, sitting just below 400 at 383 batting average. He has 18 hits through his 47 ABs. A trio of home runs. First pitch to him is a changeup that catches the outer half of the zone, gets a swing and a miss from Reed Stallman.
Yeah, and Reed Stallman, he had two of those home runs in the same game. We know he has crazy power. We know he's an extremely good batter, and so we'd love to see him get on base here.
Noah Sullivan sliding into second base. The throw gets behind, enters into center field. So another stolen base for Noah Sullivan. And as shocking as it might be, Noah Sullivan, the big designated hitter / first baseman, is completely perfect on stolen base attempts. His 7th stolen base this season, as he now steals second base. Now with no outs, Noah Sullivan in scoring position now with Reed Stallman up to the plate with no outs. 1-1 pitch is outside for ball 2. 2-1 count.
Yeah, Noah Sullivan last season, you didn't see him really ever steal a base. I guess this year, I don't know if they worked on his speed in the offseason or if they just decided this year they're going to let him have that freedom, but has done a lot more with stealing bases and getting himself in scoring position. So good on Noah Sullivan.
2-1 pitch is lifted into right field, ranging back as Winfield. Wind is doing some tricks as that's just short of the warning track. Noah Sullivan will tag up from second and make his way over to third base. So with 1 out, a fly out sends Sullivan 90 feet away from home. State leads 7-0 with 1 out, and Garrick Fry up to the plate.
Yeah, and Reed Stallman does his job, hits one out there, advances Noah Sullivan to third base, 90 feet away now, and Garrick Fry, whose last at-bat roped one to center field, and Winfield made a great play on it, but now a chance to bring a guy in with only 1 out.
First pitch to Fry is a ground ball, rolls over to second base, gloved by the second baseman, but throw will not be in time. An RBI single for Garrick Fry, and State leads 8-0 over Jackson State here in the bottom of the 4th inning with 1 out.
Yeah, Garrick Fry, great hit there, puts it deep, just past second base, pretty deep in the infield, and a great play to be able to haul that one in, but obviously not able to make the play in time as Garrick will reach, Noah will score, and State extends that lead to 8-0 now.
So after that RBI single from Fry, Ryder Woodson, the starting shortstop, steps up to the plate. Garrick Fry going, slides into second base safe. That gets past the second baseman, Boynes, and he will make his way over to third. So after the poor throw from the catcher, Torres, that gets behind the second baseman, Boynes, rolls into center field, and what turns into a stolen base at second, and a poor throw. We now have another runner at third base, and Ryder Woodson, who's still searching for his first hit of the day, has an opportunity for an RBI.
Yeah, that's back-to-back bad throws from Torres from that catcher spot. Both got past the second baseman, and so maybe wants to chill out on those throws or start to dial that in because Noah Sullivan should have advanced to third, but just wasn't really paying attention, and Garrick Fry obviously able to extend to third. So
the 1-1 pitch is fouled straight back. Catcher trying to track it down, tracks it in for out number 2. So Ryder Woodson pops out to the catcher, and now Jacob Parker will step up to the plate, the talented left-handed freshman out of Purvis, Mississippi. Now has a runner at third base with 2 outs. State searching for a few more runs here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th.
yeah, Jacob Parker single in his first at-bat, double in his next at-bat. First pitch is checked, and they're going to say he went for strike 1, but Jacob Parker has been stellar today, looking to bring in another run here with 2 outs.
Garrick Fry at third, 0-1. Breaking ball in the dirt for ball 1.
Yeah, low and inside there. Great play from Torres to be able to snag that one and keep Garrick over at third.
Yeah, hats off to Torres, who, after being hit in the face off of the deflection from Noah Sullivan, stays in the game here at the bottom of the 4th inning. 1-1 pitch now to Parker is up the middle. That'll score in a run, and an RBI single with 2 outs improves State now 9-0 over Jackson State in the bottom of the 4th.
Yeah, Jacob Parker just have a day, young man. 3 for 3, 2 singles and a double. Now tacks on an RBI there. And Jacob Parker proving that he is one of the best young guys on this team.
Yeah, a standout freshman. Really excited to see his future as a Bulldog. Just puts it perfectly right up the middle and adds another run for Mississippi State. So with 2 outs, a runner at first base, Kevin Maluski steps up to the plate. First pitch is sent into left field. Ranging back as the left fielder, and that will enter into the left field berm. Kevin Maluski got under that, but that kind of pop, it could definitely go out deep left field.
Yeah, Maluski has crazy power. We know that, and Just got to get a hold of one, time one up a little bit better, and he can absolutely send one out of here.
Bottom four, State leads 9-0 over Jackson State. 0-1 pitch, runner going. Jacob Parker slides into second base, safe. And Charlie, that's 3 straight stolen bases for Mississippi State. I'm not sure if this was the same type of strategy that Brian O'Connor kept back in Virginia, but Mississippi State has been taking advantage of every single opportunity with a runner at first base.
Well, and they also just know that the arm of Torres isn't great, and he hasn't made any good throw yet, and so there's not really a threat of them getting thrown out, and so why not send any guy that has decent speed over to second base when Torres has not proven that he's able to make that play?
No, great point. Absolutely. Wearing out the catcher and taking advantage of weak spots. 2 outs, 1-2 count to Maluski. A breaking ball, grounder over to third base, gloved and thrown. Off balance throw gets behind the first baseman. Rounding third base is Parker, and he will head over to home. And so another error for Jackson State, and State takes advantage as they now lead 10-0 here in the bottom of the fourth.
Yeah, Maluski has reached on 2 errors now. Mistake by the third baseman and then a mistake by the first baseman, not able to glove that. Hard play to make, to be fair, but one you expect him to make. And so off of the Perez mishandling, Maluski reaches, Parker scores. State now leads 10-0, and that run rule is in play.
So bottom four, State leads 10-0 over Jackson State, and a mound visit might bring it out another pitcher for Jackson State as we await to see if they make the call.
Looks like they are.
Yeah, they are. So with that, we'll step aside and we'll be back in just a moment after this pitching change for Jackson State. New pitcher on the mound, Corey Richardson, the big left-handed pitcher for Jackson State, takes over on the mound. Difficult situation. Jackson State down by 10. Top of the order for Mississippi State now. Aiden Teal takes the first pitch, sent right field. That'll get in the gap for a base hit. Rounding first base is Teal. He'll head to second. Stopping at third base is Maluski. So a 2-out double for Aiden Teal gets right in the gap, and Bulldogs now lead 10-0 with 7 hits and still have life here in the bottom of the fourth.
Yeah, I feel like this will start being a hitting clinic here as Corey here on the mound doesn't seem like he has much experience as a pitcher. This is his first appearance this season. He's topping out at around 80, throwing all the way low into the 65s, and so State could really just pour it on here as this should be a hitting clinic here for State.
Definitely a different mix of pitches in terms of speed that Mississippi State has experienced. Definitely have to sit back a good bit from what these guys are used to. But Bryce Chance, he's faced every single pitcher in the book. As that 1-0 pitch is sent into left field in the gap, down for a base hit. He'll round first base and head towards second. That'll score one and another. So another 2-out double for Mississippi State. This time, it's Bryce Chance. You guessed it.
Yeah, Bryce Chance doing what he does best. And like I said, a guy pitching this speed, this is just BP for these guys. And an easy rip into left center field, into the gap, scores 2, and State pouring it on here.
So Corey Richardson checks into the game with 2 outs and a runner at first, and a 2-out double from Aiden Teal and another 2-out double from Bryce Chance. And now Drew Wires steps up to the plate, taking over for Ace Reese after he was injured off of a foul tip deflected off of his shin. First pitch to Drew Wires is a 71-mile-an-hour off-speed pitch that is caught behind the body of Drew Wires.
Yeah, that nearly hit him, but still ball 1 regardless, and Drew Wires a chance to bring Bryce Chance home.
The 1-0. Check swing, bottom of the zone, strike 1. Evens up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, good pitch there. Right at 70 miles per hour for strike number 1.
A timeout taken by the umpire. Make sure that Corey Richardson doesn't balk, has to make eye contact with the batter. So with 2 outs, a 1-1 count, and a runner at second base. 1-0 pitch. Off speed in the dirt for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike now.
Yeah, low in the dirt, right at 70. And like I said, this is speeds that they haven't seen, I don't think, at all this season. Very, very different. But it's, like I said, it's a lot like a BP. Typical batting practice for these State guys.
2-1 pitch is low and inside for ball 3. 3-1 count coming up to Drew Wires. Wires 8 RBIs on the season. A couple home runs to his total. Checks over the 3-1, is thrown behind him for ball 4, but the wild pitch will advance Bryce Chance from second to third, so runners at the corners with 2 outs.
Yeah, you don't see that very often, a pitch so wild it actually goes behind Drew Wires, doesn't even hit him. It advances Bryce Chance over to third, and now Sully with a chance to do some more 2-out damage.
Yeah, and this will put the lineup back to the top of the order whenever we started the bottom of the 4th inning with Noah Sullivan, who was hit by pitch on the elbow and deflected off of the catcher Torres. And State has still found life with 2 outs, as a 2-out rally has sparked some life in the Mississippi State lineup. State has scored 5 runs alone here in the bottom of the 4th. First pitch to Sullivan. Catches the lower half for strike 1.
Yeah, that reaches at 69 miles per hour. Probably the slowest pitch State's seen all season long. Sully can time one up here and send one out of here.
The 0-1 pitch to Sullivan is fouled back, so Corey Richardson ahead in the count on Noah Sullivan. And Sullivan is known for tracking down his pitch, but with a peculiar pitch sequence on the mound, it's maybe shaking him up. So with 2 outs and runners at the corners, Richardson ahead 0-2 on Sullivan. The 0-2 pitch is fastball low and inside for ball 1.
Yeah, and if you're Sully here, on that last pitch that he foul tipped out, he was late on that swing, so he's really, obviously you have to sit off speed regardless, but you really have to sit off speed with how slow he's pitching, and even him was a little late on it.
The 1-2 pitch is off speed outside, evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Sully's just waiting on something to be over the heart of this plate. He had an opportunity earlier when he was down 0-2. He's just waiting and hoping that Corey throws something over the heart of this plate.
2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and Corey Richardson strikes out one of the toughest batters in the country. State scores 5 runs on 4 hits. Thanks to 2 errors, they leave 2 runners on the corners. That'll do it for the 4th. As we head to the top of the 5th inning, State leads 12-0 over Jackson State. Top of the 5th inning. New pitcher on the mound for Mississippi State. Charlie Foster checks in for the Bulldogs. Has pitched 9 2/3 innings for Mississippi State. Sits at a 4.66 ERA coming into this game with 15 strikeouts.
Yeah, Charlie Foster started off as that Sunday starter, but just has not been great, to be honest, this season, and so moved into more of a reliever mode and has gotten a couple midweek starts, and so would just love to see Charlie build some confidence here and maybe work his way back into a starting role as he has struggled pretty much all season long.
It's now a 1-2 count on Torres as the umpire calls time. Appears to be a pitch clock violation. So a 1-2 count now to Derek Torres. So with no outs, a 1-2 count coming up to the starting catcher for Jackson State. 1-2 pitch is off speed inside for ball 2.
Yeah, and the issue with Charlie Foster has been the fastball placement hasn't been great, so he gets behind counts a lot, and the breaking ball just has not been there. And so when you do that and you're throwing a lot of balls, when you do throw strikes, it's kind of pointless at this point. I mean, right here, got ahead of the count early, but 2-2 now. See if you can put him away.
2-2 pitch fastball in the dirt. And like you said, Charlie, Foster is falling in the count. So now full count coming up to Torres.
Yeah, and it's just the fastball placement all over the place. Inside, outside.
Payoff pitch is fouled back, so count remains the same as that pitch clanks off of the Mississippi State Sweets and enters back into the concourse. Full count with no outs. Infield playing at normal depth. 3-2 pitch is check swing. Did he go around? No, he didn't. The first base umpire says he did not go around, so a walk for Torres as he makes his way over to first base. A leadoff walk here to start the top of the 5th inning. State leads 12-0 over Jackson State. Bulldogs searching for a 7-inning run rule over Jackson State. State leads. If State leads by 10 runs at the end of the top of the 7th inning, the game will conclude. So now 1-0 count to Wilbert Perez. Fastball over the heart of the plate for strike 1, evens it up at 1-1.
Yeah, that's a good pitch there from Charlie. To even out the count 1-1. Just got up their strikes, especially against Jackson State. If you throw a strike, it's likely not going to be hit on. They've struggled all game long with touching anything, and so throw a strike, make them have to hit it. That's the mindset that Charlie should have.
So on the 1-1, Foster gets a swing and a miss on Perez, so a 1-2 count on the first baseman. 1-2 pitch is upstairs for ball 2, evens it up at 2-2. So no outs, a runner at first. State leads 12-0 here in the top of the 5th inning. Only one hit on the day for the Tigers. The 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball inside. So another full count coming up. Now the second batter faced for Charlie Foster. Alongside Charlie Curley, John Wesley Cochran here with you here on the Bulldog Student Sports Network. Payoff pitch is in the dirt, so back-to-back walks for Charlie Foster. And runners at first and second with no outs. And Charlie, what do you say to a guy like Charlie Foster who kind of comes into the season with really high expectations and hasn't really met them, but now comes into the midweek and is just trying to, get his confidence back up?
Yeah, it's exactly what I said. This should be a chance for him to build confidence and get ready to go and potentially have either bigger games to come in and relieve or even move back into a midweek starter role for the Bulldogs. But like we said right now, it's just he doesn't look good. It's like he's walked 2 guys. Right now, first pitch against Winfield is a high fastball, not even close for ball 1. It's just he can't place his fastball right now. When you can't place your go-to pitch, it's just a struggle for anything else to fall into that strike zone. And so it's just been struggle town this whole season for Charlie Foster.
1-0 pitch is a breaking ball that gets away from him inside for ball 2. So 2-0 count coming up to Parker Winfield, who has yet to find a base hit this season. And Justin Parker calls time and will head out to talk to Charlie Foster, who, coming into his appearance this inning, has thrown a total of 15 pitches, and the large majority of them have been balls. Only 5 strikes out of his 15 pitches thrown. No damage has been done just yet, but right now probably the best position that Jackson State has been in all day, now with runners at first and second and no outs. You'd like to think that Parker trying to tell him to dial it down a little bit and just throw strikes.
Yeah, that's got to be the message. It's just literally all you have to do is throw a strike. If you throw a strike, they're either going to swing and miss or they're going to hit one that's an easy play for us to make majority of the time. And just to settle down, throw strikes. This game is done. They can't win. Just throw some strikes.
So first pitch after the mound visit is a fastball upstairs for ball 3. So 3-0 count coming up to Parker Winfield. Runners at first and second, no out. The 3-0 pitch is a fastball down Broadway for strike 1.
And there you go. Just to throw a strike. Fastball right down the pipe. Continue to do that. I mean, Parker Winfield has one at-bat on the season. He doesn't have a ton of experience. Just make him have to hit something.
The 3-1, a swing and a miss. 93 on the gun for Foster. Another full count. The third full count here in his third batter faced. The payoff pitch is upstairs and outside for ball 4, so 3 batters faced, 3 walks for Charlie Foster. Not what you want to see, but still double play depth for the Tigers. So that opportunity is still in the mix for Mississippi State to get some runners out.
Yeah, he's just got to lock it in here. Good first pitch strike there for Charlie Foster, but, I mean, this is just trouble town. Pretty early on with 0 outs, bases loaded.
The 0-1 is popped up to right side of the infield, tracks it in. Is Reed Stallman for out number 1. So Charlie Foster relies on his infield to get out number 1, and with bases loaded and no outs, getting a infield fly infield pop-up definitely will spark some confidence. First pitch to Robert Tate Jr., the leadoff hitter, gets a swing and miss on the upstairs fastball.
Yeah, and great first pitch there. Get ahead of the count early and now take advantage of this. You're ahead of the count. Keep the pressure on them.
0-1. Another swing and a miss on 93 fastball from Foster. Foster finding some life ahead in the count 0-2 on the shortstop.
Yeah, 0-2 count. Great pitch there. Get ahead of the count. Put him to bed right here.
0-2 pitch, a slow roller up the middle. Gloved, thrown over to second for out number 1. Throws across the diamond from second for out number 2, actually. So out at second base, no out as the throw was too late at first base. So 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Jackson State finally scores their first run. State leads by 11, 12-1 over Jackson State. So Tyree Reed steps up to the plate. First pitch thrown to him is fastball outside for ball 1.
Yeah, just fastball, not really a great first pitch there. Low and away. No chance for the batter even to swing at it if he wanted to.
1-0 pitch is sliced into left field, tracking it down for out number 3 is James Nunnally. So that'll do it for the top of the 5th as we head to the bottom of the inning. State leads 12-1 over Jackson State. We'll be back in just a minute for more Bulldog baseball. Welcome back. Bottom five. State leads 12-1 over Jackson State. First pitch thrown to Blake Beavis is in for a strike. Senior out of Brentwood, Tennessee, steps into this game batting just below 400, sitting at 391 batting average. 9 hits on 23 ABs. Couple home runs. Now the 1-1 is sent right side up in the air. Is it going to stay in play? No, it's not, as that goes into the grandstands for Mississippi State here at Dudy Noble.
Yeah, Beavis has been a great bat pretty much all season long. 23 at-bats, 9 hits, 2 home runs, 9 RBIs, batting .391 on the season. And so Beavis is a guy that comes off, subs in a lot, hasn't had had too many starts, but a guy that comes in and puts in some solid production.
1-2 pitch to Beavis. Inside for ball 2 at 73. New pitcher on the mound. It'll be Trey Burton. He'll come into this game with 15 innings pitched, 17 strikeouts on the season. Comes into this game with a 0-2 record. The 2-2 pitch is a fastball inside at the waist. So full count coming up to Beavis.
Yeah, great on Beavis to work back into this count. Full count now to Blake, and let's see if he can get on base here.
Payoff pitch to Beavis is a line drive just over the shortstop. That'll get in the gap. Rolls all the way towards the wall, rounding first base, and a stand-up double to start out the bottom of the 5th inning for Blake Beavis.
Yeah, just a great batting there from Blake Beavis. Gets count to full, and then just rips one into the gap. Fastball right down the middle. Stand-up double for Blake Beavis, and State continues just to keep the bats hot.
So Blake Beavis with a stand-up double to start the bottom of the 5th inning, and Garrick Fry steps up to the plate, 1 for 2 on the day with a single back in the 4th inning. He walked in his first at-bat, and he flew out to center field in his second at-bat in the 2nd inning. Now sits at an 0-1 count here with no outs. Burton comes set. The 0-1. Off-speed pitch is inside. Evens the count 1-1. No outs. Bottom 5. State trying to keep some life, and the 1-1 pitch is hit right up the middle for a single. Runners at the corners now. Garrick Fry now improves to 2 for 3 on the day, boosting his numbers as a Bulldog, sitting just below 350 now.
Yeah, that's a great heads-up play there from Trey Burton. That ball nearly came back and hit him right on the mound, but able to duck under it and save something that could have been pretty serious. And Garrick, great single, advances Beavis over to third, and now Gatlin Sanders with a chance to get his first hit of the season.
Yeah, so we saw Gatlin Sanders check into the game in the top of the 5th inning. He subs in for Ryder Woodson as that play gets behind the catcher, sliding into home plate is Blake Beavis. So Blake Beavis, after he doubles to start the inning and advances to third base, he slides into home plate after the wild pitch, and State now leads 13-1 here in the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, Gatlin Sanders is a guy who is a great defender, has great speed, but it's just he does not bring much of a bat to the team, which is why he's kind of fallen back in this lineup. I mean, he got a lot of playing time last season for State, but like I said, it's just he is not as strong with the bat as Ryder Woodson is, which is why he's become that backup shortstop, a pinch runner, and typically sees a lot of time in blowout. And so Gatlin Sanders, a guy who has a ton of talent, great defensively, but needs to get the bat rolling here.
No doubt. And last season, the story for Mississippi State's lineup wasn't near as good of a lineup as it is today. And like you said, Charlie, we've just seen him weeded out from the star-studded talent that Mississippi State has been able to bring in through the transfer portal. So now 2-1 count coming up to Sanders. Fastball clips the outside corner, evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, it just seems like Gatlin Sanders has struggled to see the ball this season. I mean, only 8 at-bats, hasn't gotten a hit yet. Just seems like he's not really seeing the ball that well, as that pitch is right over the heart of the plate. Got to be one you swing at.
2-2 count. Off speed is at the chest. So full count coming up to Gatlin Sanders.
Yeah, have some good plate discipline here. Get on base if you're Gatlin.
Full count is not enough, as that is a little bit low and outside for ball 4. So a great at-bat from Gatlin Sanders. He will take his base. And now, arguably the best player of the day, Jacob Parker, steps up to the plate.
Yeah, it's between him and Bryce Chance. But Jacob Parker, the best bat of the day for sure.
No doubt.
3 for 3, 2 singles and a double, looking to make it 4 for 4.
First pitch to Parker is some high heat, gets a swing and miss from Parker for strike 1.
Yeah, Parker will want that one back. We've said it. He loves those high fastballs, and just a little late on that. I think maybe was sitting off speed, but so he wishes he had that one back.
The 0-1 upstairs fastball outside for ball 1.
Yeah, that's another high fastball, and I don't know if Burton has much film on Jacob Parker, but a high fastball is not what you want to throw him. He's taken multiple of those out of this place.
The 1-1 clips the bottom part of the zone for strike 2. 1-2 count coming up to Parker with a runner at second and no outs.
Yeah, that was a really good pitch. Low fastball, but just catches the bottom half of that zone for strike 2 to get ahead of the count.
1-2 pitch to Parker. Just barely fouled. Count remains the same, 1-2.
Yeah, so early on that swing. I don't know how that ball ended up going to the right. Very, very early. That breaking ball was at 73 miles per hour, and Jacob Parker was way ahead of it. Just got to time it up and sit on the right pitch.
Runners at first and second. 1-2 pitch is outside for ball 2. Jacob Parker 3 for 3 on the day. A single in the second, a double in the third, and another single back in the fourth. He scored during all 3 of his plate appearances today. 2-2 pitch is sent into shallow center field. Ranging back is Winfield. Tracks it down for out number 1. He will throw directly to third base and keeps Garrick Fry, who was sitting at second base, from tagging up.
Yeah, Jacob Parker just a little underneath that ball. He got the pitch he wanted, a high breaking ball, swung on just a little under it. Not able to get enough on that ball to send it out or anywhere where it can be in, or get to the ground. And so routine pop fly for Winfield out there, and 1 out now for Jackson State with Milewski at the bat.
So 1 away, bottom 5. Runners at first and second. It'll be Gatlin Sanders at first, Garrick Fry at second. And Kevin Milewski up to the plate, takes a big swing and a miss for strike 1.
Yeah, 0 for 3 doesn't do Milewski justice. He's had a good day with the bat in his hand, advancing guys, and even like I said, that first hit you could debate was a hit. Right there, not a pretty swing there off the breaking ball, way early on it, down in the count 0-2. But Milewski's had a pretty good day, despite what the stats may show.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, but he's definitely made up for some of the mistakes. 0-2 pitch is low and inside. Good block from Torres, the catcher behind the plate. So 1-2 count here with 1 out. State leads 13-1. We saw a similar outing for the Dogs last time we were on the call. A 26-run game for Mississippi State, as that's a ground ball left side that gets past the shortstop. Rounding third base is Garrick Fry, and Gatlin Sanders will hold up at second. So a 1-out single for Kevin Milewski brings in a run, and State leads 14-1.
Yeah, Maluski there a little early on the swing, but still able to get contact and put it in a spot where there is not a Jackson State defender. Basically right where shortstop typically is, but the shift changed that, and so Maluski gets his first hit of the game and gets an RBI with it as well.
So James Nunnally steps up to the plate. The lefty-lefty matchup. First pitch thrown is fastball way outside for ball one.
Yeah, Nunnally's a guy who has started to pick it up a little bit, got his average up to 233. It was down in the mid to low hundreds a few games back, and so Nunnally maybe starting to find his groove here. He's a guy that we know can be huge for State, a big-time transfer. We thought he'd be an automatic starter, and he started the season off and then has been removed from the lineup, just hasn't really had his bat ready to go, but is someone that we know that can heat up at any moment.
No doubt. One of the top-rated sophomores in the country. To a pitch is a ground ball, rolls over to first base. First baseman will flip it over to the pitcher, Trey Burton, for out number 2. So James Nunnally's grounder to the first base moves the runners from first and second to second and third. And now Peter Mershon with 2 outs will have 2 runners in scoring position as we sit in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Yeah, and I'm just kind of noticing, this is kind of off topic, but Maluski is massive over there at second base. I mean, he is huge. I didn't know he was that big.
He is quite big, and it might be throwing you off, especially with Gatlin Sanders sitting at third base, but nonetheless,
Absolutely.
Gatlin Sanders not the biggest baseball player on this roster, but Kevin Maluski definitely brings in some size. Transfer from Seton Hall. 0-1 pitch to Mershon upstairs for ball 1.
Yeah, Mershon's another guy that I think has a bright future here at State. I mean, 9 at-bats, 2 hits, batting .222, but another one of these young guys, it's always good to let him get some playing time, some real at-bats, and kind of introduce him into college baseball.
1-1 pitch gets behind the runner. Looks like it was a hit by pitch. So the runners will move back, but Peter Mershon will head to first base. So that negates a run, but now bases loaded with 2 outs. And Drew Wires will step up to the plate.
Yeah, Drew Wires, we've talked about it quite often, but was really big in that last series, blanking on who it was against, but I mean, back-to-back leadoff homers. He's been so good. And those are the 2 home runs in the season in the same game in back-to-back innings. And so Drew Wires, some extreme talent, batting .382.
Yeah, I believe that was Lipscomb. That might have been a different series, but nonetheless, the check swing from Wires now makes it an 0-1 count. 0-1, as that's a line drive into right field in the gap. That'll get down for a base hit. Scores a run. Gatlin Sanders taps home plate. Kevin Maluski. And will he bring in 3? Yes, he does. A 2-out double for Drew Wires. And that's exactly what you want to see. Clears all the bases. Adds 3 more runs, and State leads 17-1 here in the bottom of the 5th with 2 outs.
That's exactly what you want to do if you're Drew Wires. A base-clearing double right into the gap. Just beautiful. It's just exceptional. I mean, especially taking over from Ace Reese, one of the best bats in the country, and you're able to come in and do that. Kind of fill his shoes in a sense, is that's exactly something we'd expect from Ace Reese, and Drew Wires able to make it happen.
He does make it happen. Well, with that, I believe we are going to have another pitching change as Trey Burton, his day will come to a close, I believe. Yes, and they will hand the ball off. Trey Burton's day will come to a close. He is unable to get through an inning, gives up 4 hits, 5 earned runs. His book isn't closed just yet, as Drew Wires will remain on second base. We're going to step aside. We'll be back in just a minute with more Bulldog baseball on BSSN. Welcome back after the pitching change. Mississippi State leads 17-1. In the bottom of the fifth, new pitcher on the mound will be Talma Davis, who comes into this game with 6 1/3 innings pitched. More of a sidearm angle pitcher. Coming in from the right side, he comes in with 10 strikeouts. Facing Jackson Owen, the senior from Starkville, Mississippi, now ahead in the count on Owen, 0-2.
Yeah, actually has a really cool throwing motion. Like you said, that little sidearm, almost submarine-style throwing. And he has some nasty curve on that 78 mile per hour breaking ball.
0-2 pitch. The chopper over to first base. Gloved by the first baseman. Tosses over to the pitcher. Taps on the bag for out number 3. So Jackson Owen comes into the game, but he is retired on the ground out to second base. State scores 5 runs on 4 hits, and they leave a runner on. That'll take us to the top of the 6th inning. State leads 17-1 over Jackson State. And we welcome you back out to Dudy Noble Field. New pitcher on the mound for Mississippi State, Tyler Pitzer. He comes in after Charlie Foster pitches an inning. Foster came in and started off with some trouble, walked 3 straight batters, but was able to get out of the jam. Gives up the first run of the day last inning, so now Tyler Pitzer in the count 0-1. Ground ball over to third base. Gloved by Wires, throws across the diamond. Tried to get a scoop from first base as Blake Beavis comes in for Reed Stallman, but unable to get out number 1 here in the 6th.
And that should be a routine play all around. Easy chopper over to third base. Scooped nicely by Drew Wires, but just a bad throw forces Beavis to have to make a scoop, and obviously unable to do so. So first error of the game for State, and a rare slip-up defensively in this infield for State. I know it's not the starters, but still very rare for State outside of that catching position to make a mistake like that.
No doubt. 5 errors on the day for Jackson State. Mississippi State throws their first error of the day, coming from Drew Wires at third base, who takes over for Ace Reese. As we'd love to get an update on him. Hopefully he is okay and healthy for the rest of this week. As the 0-1 pitch is a check swing called for, it is called a ball, as it says he did not go around.
It's exactly what you want to see out of Milewski, though. Wild pitch outside, able to slide over and stop it from getting past him. And so that's exactly what you want to see out of the catcher. Great stop.
1-1 pitch to Hudson Jr. is a swing and a miss. 81 miles an hour on the breaking ball. 1-2 count coming out with no outs.
Yeah, that off speed at 81 is just filthy. And Edwin Lemus not able to put a bat on it way early on the swing, and now down 1-2.
Pickoff attempt over at first base. Applies the tag, but just a hair late. As Cabral sits at first base for the Tigers. Righty-righty matchup. Tyler Pitzer comes set. No outs, the 1-2. Breaking ball sent into left field for out number one, a routine fly out to left. And Peter Mershon hauls it in for out number one.
Yeah, it seems like Garrick Fry's the only starter. And Jacob Parker are still in the game. Bryce Chance will be replaced by Peter Mershon out there in left field, and routine play out there for him to record out number one of the inning.
Yeah, we've seen a handful of guys already out in left field. We see Bryce Chance get the start. James Nunnally out in left field. Nunnally moves over to right field now. First pitch to Peyton Boynes is off speed outside for ball one. As Pitzer responds with the fastball on the outside corner for strike one, evens the count at 1-1.
Yeah, Peyton Boynes didn't like that one. Shook his head a little bit there, but nonetheless evens the count 1-1 with one out.
1-1 pitch. Another fastball clips the outside corner for strike two. So Pitzer, who falls after a breaking ball outside, responds with back-to-back fastballs for a 1-2 count.
Yeah, Milewski did such a great job of making that look like a strike. Catches that, turns the glove a little bit, made it look like it was center.
1-2 pitch is outside. Tried to get a swing and miss on the off-speed since he was ahead in the count. But nonetheless, a 2-2 count coming up to Peyton Boynes with a runner at first and one out.
Yeah, and great discipline there from Boynes. That's a pitch a lot of guys swing on, and he almost did, but held back. Now 2-2 count evens it out.
2-2 pitch is sent into left field. Should be another routine play for Peter Mershon as he tracks it in for out number two. So back-to-back flyouts to left field. And State trying to seal the deal here in the top of the sixth. State with a commanding 16-run lead, 17-1. Dogs on top of the Tigers. As Haderic Torres, the starting catcher, steps up to the plate.
And he seems to be the best bat on the team, batting .355. Obviously no luck today, but Torres took that hit to the face earlier in the game, able to tough it out, and now a chance to get a hit here.
0-1 pitch, fastball down the middle for strike one. Definitely commend Torres for staying in the game after the close call there. Few innings back. Glad that he's okay and still playing. 0-1 pitch is a fastball in the dirt for ball one. Good scoop there from Milewski, and had a few mishaps to start the game, but he's definitely cleaned up his act behind the plate. 1-1 pitch to Torres is outside for ball two.
Yeah, and mistakes happen. Every catcher's going to drop a couple balls. A couple are going to get past them. But it's just limiting those in those big moments. And like I said, we've had a few games this season. I think 3 of our losses have been because of poor catching, dropping a ball, getting past them, runners getting in, especially against UCLA, Southern Miss, and then against Arkansas.
2-1 pitch is lifted into center field. Tracks it down is Jacob Parker. So Tyler Pitzer comes into the game in the top of the 6th and relies on his outfield to handle business for 3 straight outs. That'll take us to the bottom of the 6th. State leads 17-1 over Jackson State. And we're back now for the bottom of the 6th inning. A routine pop-up over to first base as Blake Beavis will pop out for out number 1. Different pitcher on the mound. Same pitcher rather, Talma Davis back in for Jackson State. Secures the final out of the last inning and comes in. Now has a pretty interesting arm delivery like we were talking about earlier. Very much a side arm. You might could say it's a 3/4 action, but pretty much a true sidearm pitcher.
Yeah, and he has some nasty pitches to him. The fastball over at 93 up to 95. And then he has that breaking ball, a lot of curvage to it. And don't know why they held on to this guy for as long as they did. They should have had him in earlier, as he seems to be pretty nasty.
As the 2-1 pitch gets a swing and a miss from Garrick Fry. Hats off to Fry, who has had a pretty solid day today. Walked in his first at-bat, flew out in his second, but has responded with back-to-back singles in the 4th and the 5th inning. As the 2-1 pitch is a chopper straight over to third base and a strong throw from Patty across the diamond for out number 2.
Yeah, great play there. A chopper over to third. Those are hard to get a glove on, but makes it look easy. Patty, he had those couple mistakes earlier in the game, but he able to make that one. Throw over to first is clean, and quick 2 outs here for Jackson State with Gatlin Sanders up the bat.
So bottom 6, 2 outs. Gatlin Sanders searching for his first hit. Takes first pitch called strike 1 on the outer half.
Yeah, and it's so tough to see a pitcher like this, with the sidearm action. It's just really hard to get an eye on where it's going to end up.
A 1 pitch is lifted into right field, but a straight line drive and a line out for out number 3. That'll take us to the top of the 7th inning. State needs 3 more outs to shut it down here in the midweek. We'll be back in just a moment for more Bulldog baseball. State leads 17-1. Top 7. Brendan Sweeney on the mound for Mississippi State, looking to shut it down for the Bulldogs. First pitch to Wilbert Perez, 94 on the gun for strike 1. Charlie, what do you think it means for Mississippi State to have a solid closer like Sweeney?
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly what you want as a powerhouse SEC school. You need a guy that can shut it down. You know, I talked earlier in the season of Jack Bauer potentially being that guy, the star-studded freshman, topping out at 103 in the offseason. But Brendan Sweeney's been a solid guy that State can rely on late in games.
And he responds right there with the 1-1 pitch with a 93-mile-an-hour fastball on the outside edge for strike 2.
Yeah, it's like that fastball has some movement to it. It's not a typical fastball. I don't know if it's a sinker or what it is, but it has some pretty decent movement. And again, it throws it again, and I don't know how that isn't a strike call. It looked like it was middle, but nonetheless, a 2-2 count now.
I guess a good frame from the catcher, Maluski. Nonetheless, a 2-2 pitch coming up to Perez. Sweeney in the windup. Winds and deals the 2-2. Grounder over to second base. Gloved by Fry. Throws it over for out number 1. A routine grounder to second. And 1 down in the top of the 7th.
Yeah, like you said, John Wesley, routine play there for Garrick Fry. Easy scoop, easy toss over to first, and 2 outs away from ball game here at Dudy Noble.
So Brendan Sweeney relies on his defense. We talked about the closer role for Mississippi State, and first game of SEC play, Jack Bauer comes in, gives off a walk-off bomb to win the game for Arkansas. What do you think it is for Jack Bauer that he needs to do in order to maybe get his confidence back up after losing such a close game like that, and the implications were so high.
Yeah, I mean, you can clearly see the talents through the roof. I mean, you don't see a lot of college guys, especially freshmen, topping out upwards of 103. And so you know he has all the talent in the world. It's just building confidence. And kind of like you said, he's had some rough at-bats, rough goes for him with the batters he's faced, and especially against Arkansas. I mean, honestly, looked good except for that solo shot. And so giving up a solo shot for ball game, that's just one pitch. You know what I mean? And so he has a lot of time to build that confidence and get back. I think Jack Bauer has a chance to still have a really, really good season.
Now the 0-2 pitch is fouled back again. So with 1 out, Sweeney facing Parker Winfield, who was 0 for 1 today, struck out in his first at-bat and walked in his second back in the 5th inning. Now the 0-2 pitch. Fastball on the outer edge, just doesn't catch the corner for ball 1.
Yeah, another one of those pitches that Milewski framed really well. From our point of view, it looks like a strike, but definitely a little high, maybe a little outside as well. So 1-2 count now for Winfield.
Sweeney winds and deals. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. 2 down in the top of the 7th. And with State with a 16-run lead, just need 1 more out to close this game out.
That's right. Really good pitch there from Sweeney. Big swing and a miss, and 1 out away with Tyshawn Patty up to bat, the third baseman.
Top 7, 2 outs. 17-1. First pitch is a fastball on the outer edge for strike 1 to Tyshawn Patty.
Yeah, 94-mile-per-hour fastball. That's just right down the middle. Can't really get more of a layup of a pitch if you're Patty, but just stares and looks at it.
The 0-1, a grounder right up the middle. Glove by Sanders, throws it over to first for out number 3. That'll do it. Mississippi State closes out the game in 17 innings. Brendan Sweeney comes into the game thanks to a strikeout, a pop-out, and a ground-out. Dogs close it out in 7 innings. Charlie, standout day all across the board. State scores 17 runs through a total of 12 hits. Who's your player of the game tonight?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I can always go Bryce Chance, and it'd be a very valid point, but I'll give it to Jacob Parker today. The bat was hot. I believe 3 for 4 on the day, 2 singles and a double. Just had a really, really good day. Very solid all around. But, I mean, obviously Bryce Chance had a great day with both the bat and defensively. Robbed the home run, made that incredible sliding play over in left field. And Bryce Chance, I believe, as well, was 2 for 3. So really good game from both those guys. But like you said, just a kind of dominating, suffocating performance all around for State.
No doubt. And on the defensive side of things, Mississippi State, they bring in 5 pitchers. Well, kind of hard to choose from, but who would you say had the best outing today?
Yeah, I mean, every guy came in and did their job. I really liked what I saw from Miller early. Rhodes looked great as well, and obviously Sweeney cleaned up nicely. I mean, Miller obviously starting the game did a great job. He gave up the only hit of the game. Rhodes was really solid though, so I'd give it to Rhodes. Rhodes looked very impressive in the work that he got in the 2 innings.
Yeah, well, a standout day for Mississippi State. Always cherish the wins throughout this season. State will improve after this and look to continue their dominance as we continue the rest of the season. We'll be back next time alongside Charlie Curley. John Wesley Cochran saying so long from Dudy Noble Field.